Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Tyrauku here, and today we're going to talk about the champion who is in the guaranteed summon pool for Sacred Shards, Nekmo Thaar. So if you're deciding if you want to pull for him or if you already have him and you're trying to figure out how to build him, hopefully this video can help you guys out. First, let's go over his skill kit because this is really going to play into how I have him built, and then we'll talk about his use cases and all the different areas of the game, as well as go over his masteries. So his A1, AoE, decreased attack, absolutely amazing, has a 40% chance of placing 50% decreased attack. The chance increases at 75% against targets under debuffs. Most of the time they're going to be under debuffs, so most of the time it's going to be 75% chance to place an AoE decreased attack, which is amazing. His A2 ability attacks all enemies at 75% chance of placing 30% decreased speed and leech debuff for 2 turns, books up to 100% chance. I definitely think this champion deserves the books. I think he kind of needs the books, especially when you're placing debuffs like this that you're kind of relying on. If you're relying on debuffs and they have only a 75% chance of placing, it's going to kind of feel bad. Unless it's on the A1 ability, then that lower percent chance isn't a huge deal because you're using it so often, ideally. His A3 ability places a 30% increased speed on all allies for 2 turns and fills their turn meter by 30%. Then grants this champion an extra turn on a 4-turn cooldown. So he's going to use this 4-turn cooldown, go into this on a 3-turn cooldown. So he's going to do increased speed and increased turn meter on all the allies, and then decrease speed and leech on all the enemies. So it's going to be an absolute amazing turn meter manipulation, basically, so your champions on your team don't have to be as highly geared for speed, especially if you're a newer player. It's going to make the gearing a lot easier. Now, his passive ability fills this champion's turn meter by 5% each time a debuff on an enemy is removed, transferred, or expires. So it's not even debuffs that he places, just any debuff in general. So very, very fast kit, very speed oriented. His aura increases ally speed in all battles by 19%. If you're having trouble getting your champions with good speed, this dude is definitely going to help you out. Now let's take a look at his masteries real quick. What I'm running, this is definitely not what you need to run, but this is how I have him built currently. I hid the wrong thing there. Let me hide my webcam. Okay, so we have War Master. This was for Hydra build. And then we have Support Tree. I want to extend his buff duration and I want to extend his debuff duration. So these are what I have. You guys can go with whatever you want, but this is my idea. Definitely a lot of different options you could go for this guy. That would make pretty good sense. Now, let's go ahead, turn the webcam back on, and then we'll go over here to his artifacts. So keeping in mind that I want him to go as frequently as possible. The A3 ability is boosting turn meter as well as placing that increase of speed. So everything in this kit is very, very valuable. So I have him in Relentless gear, but for some reason the Relentless icon isn't actually showing, but he is in Relentless gear. Okay, so 4-piece. I have him pretty fast, 236, not crazy fast. I could definitely get him faster, but it's reasonably fast, and it worked very, very well in Hydra. It actually gave me my brand new personal record on Brutal, which I will show you guys later on, and I'll clip it at the end of this video. But other than that, other than speed, you got to make sure his accuracy is good. If you don't have good accuracy, you're not going to place any of your debuffs, right? So good accuracy, good speed for whatever areas of the game you're working on, and then good survivability stats. So his base HP isn't bad, but 17,000 is a little bit low, so you do need to focus on getting HP percentage gear on him to make sure he's actually going to survive through hits. So good HP, good defense, depending on your area, your level of gameplay, and you're definitely gonna be good. Ideally, I would have HP percentage here as well, just because his HP right now is 50,000, his defense is 4,000. If we have an increased defense champion on the team, we probably have a little bit more defense than we actually need right now. But overall, I'm definitely happy with these stats, especially with being in Relentless gear. Now, if you have the Revenge accessories, definitely throw it on him. Champions who have really good A1 abilities highly benefit from having Revenge accessories, obviously, because it's gonna give them a chance to counterattack whenever they're hit. So if a defense ring, defense necklace, obviously we could probably switch this out for some HP stuff, but so far it's been working very well. We have a banner with some triple HP. So it's good survivability, good speed, good accuracy, and you're going to be good to go. So let's go ahead and jump in here and talk about the different areas that he can be used in. We'll start from the left over the campaign and move on throughout. So obviously campaign, we don't really care about that, to be honest. I can throw him in here to see what he does as campaign farming, but to be 100% honest, I really couldn't care less how fast he does campaign, simply because you're not going to use him as a campaign farmer. Like, maybe he does it okay, but there's really no reason for me to even test this, I don't think. Yeah. Okay, so he's gonna do it relatively fast. He takes so many turns. This dude on clan boss, especially with Relentless gear, he was taking turn after turn after turn. It was crazy. So he does campaign, but at this point in the game, if you're using this champion, you probably don't really care about that, to be honest, because you probably have, I don't know, Bellower, Skullcrown, Kale will even do it faster than this. I mean, 25 seconds, we're not worried about it. But for organization's sake, we're gonna go from left to right. So does campaign, there you go. If you're curious, there you go. Now you know. Now you know. So dungeons, he's gonna be absolutely amazing for basically everyone. Fire Knight, you got to be careful because he doesn't bring no multi-hits, but he brings increased speed, increased turn meter, decreased speed, and a leech. So he brings an amazing kit for Fire Knight for actually manipulating the turn meter, helping the speeds be a little bit more manageable, but he doesn't bring any actual turn meter manipulation as far as like turn meter reduced on the Fire Knight, doesn't bring any multi-hits. So something to keep in mind, you will have to make up for that in other champions. Spider's Den brings a great kit for decreasing speed, increasing speed. Dragons and Ice Golem may be where he does the best, especially for waves. Honestly, in any wave control area, especially if you're working through these dungeons, he's going to be amazing. You can literally see right here, throwing him in even into a weak affinity, Dragon Stage 20, he's going to decrease their speed, increase our speed. He's going to be boosting our turn meter, giving our champions a ton of turns. This allows you to run your champions a little bit slower. It allows you to not really have to worry as much about their survivability because they're going to be getting hit far less. If you bring crowd control champions like a champion like Syl the Drakes, you can do an AoE stun, Astralon, maybe Visix for provoke. Any champion with AoE crowd control, a Chalk, they're going to lock down the enemies and you really don't have to worry about getting hit at all. You can see Neekmo going through his turns left and right like crazy. So as far as early game, mid game, if you're progressing through dungeons, absolutely amazing champion. Very, very good to help you just in general lock down the waves and control the dungeon in general. So dungeons, he's gonna be a great champion for that, of course. Now, Faction Wars, the next thing, moving to the right. We don't have the Lizardmen Faction Wars open, but with any champion for Faction Wars, he's not gonna bring a res, he's not gonna bring a heal, so you do have to keep that in mind. You're not gonna have those aspects to a kit, but he's going to bring that increased turn meter. He's going to bring that increased speed, the decreased speed. So Faction Wars, he's going to be absolutely amazing, especially when you look at Lizardmen Faction Wars. There's some really good champions in Lizardmen. Like there's a few champions here that can definitely make or break the team. Like if you have Venom Mage, easy. Can basically solo. Actually, I think she does solo stage 21 for me. Maybe 20, I forget which one. But Venom Mage, absolutely amazing. If you have Venom Mage, Lizardmen's easy. If you have Krisk, Venom Mage is easy. If you have Draco, Lizardmen is a lot easier. But not everybody has all those champions, of course, right? So if you had Neekmo, this dude is going to help you out so much in Lizardmen. Amazing turn meter manipulation, AoE decrease attack, the enemies are hitting you for less damage. You have a speed aura if you need it. Very, very, very solid kit for just general wave control for Lizardmen Faction War. So definitely a champion who, if your Lizardmen are struggling, you're going to highly enjoy throwing him in there, using him throughout the Faction Wars. Unfortunately, I can't actually show you the guys that right now, but he's going to do absolutely incredible as long as you have somebody maybe to help keep your allies alive. Even Broadmaw. Broadmaw is literally a free champion. You can come in here to the fusions. So it's coming here and fuse Broadmaw. You have a champion who does some more turn meter boosting as well as a res in case something gets a little bit sketchy and people start to die. So Broadmaw, excellent option to bring alongside Neekmo for some extra support and extra turn meter boosting. Always amazing. Now, let's jump to the next area, Arena. So Arena, he's going to be a solid option, but for specific people. So he does bring a good speed aura, 19%, good in the sense of it actually works in all battles, but definitely not as good compared to Arbiter. So if you're a newer player going through the arena, maybe early stages, you need a speed booster, he could definitely work as your maybe main speed booster or even your second speed booster to keep your team in speed tune. It will be a lot easier to have your second to go champions actually be in speed tune because Neekmo does do an AoE turn meter boost as well as a increased speed. So he's boosting all turn meters, increase in speed. One of the biggest turn meter boosts, actually his turn meter boost is as big as Arbiter's turn meter boost. So Arbiter has a 30% turn meter boost on her ability as well. Granted, she has the increased attack also, but she doesn't have increased speed. So he's increasing speed, increasing turn meter, and then decreasing all the enemy's speed. So having your second champion to go is going to be super, super easy. However, the one caveat comes down to his base speed. So his base speed is 104. This is where you're going to be building your speed sets off of. So it's going to be a little difficult to get Neekmo to go super fast, especially when you compare it to somebody like Arbiter, who starts off with a base speed of 110. Now, granted, if you have really good Lizardmen banners with really good speed rolls, you could definitely make him very, very fast, but he's just not going to be as fast as Arbiter. But granted, if you have Arbiter, you're probably not considering throwing him in the arena anyways. But as far as a champion to keep your arena speed tuned and do very, very well, the speed differences you can use from him and your second to go champion is going to be pretty significant. So let me see if we have Deacon Armstrong, somebody kind of close to compare it to. So Deacon is an amazing speed booster as well, 100 base speed. So Neekmo actually has higher base speed than Deacon, has a little bit better turn meter manipulation, I do believe. Deacon fills the turn meter by 15% and decreases the turn meter of all enemies by 15%. You could even use them together because Deacon brings a decreased defense AoE as well. But definitely a champion who is a reasonable option for some classic arena teams, but definitely an option for 3v3 arena teams. Maybe you were missing a speed booster, so you could definitely throw him in for that. I don't think it's his best role, but he can definitely fill the spot of that role because he has absolutely amazing turn meter boosting, and turn meter boosting for your allies, and turn meter, well, essentially decrease speed for the enemies. Not turn meter effects, but decrease speed. You do need accuracy, so the stat requirements are going to be a little bit heavy, maybe a little bit more heavy than you'd like to see. The next area, we have two places here. We have Clan Boss and we have Hydra. So Clan Boss, he's going to be more for like early game, early mid game, I'd say, because he brings that decreased attack for the Clan Boss, which is amazing. A very needed debuff. Honestly, there's so many teams that I see who don't run decreased attack, and their runs end way before they should actually end. So he brings that, which is amazing. He brings the Leech, which is amazing. Now the decreased speed does nothing, which is unfortunate. So the decreased speed, just wasted debuff. But the Leech, absolutely incredible. The increased speed on your allies plus the turn meter boost is going to be incredible as well. Obviously, it's going to help your team cycle through more turns. It would make speed tuning him a little bit weird, but you could calculate that and it could definitely work out well. But early on in Clan Boss, a lot of people don't actually speed tune up until about Brutal. Brutal is probably where you start speed tuning. But as far as an early game player, absolutely amazing for Clan Boss. The exact same build, good accuracy, good speed, good survivability. You're going to be good to go. If you want to get him to 100% crit rate, you can. But honestly, I would much rather focus on these other survivability and accuracy and speed stats way before worrying about crit rate in general. So an amazing kit for Clan Boss as well. Now the next Clan Boss, the Hydra Clan Boss, this is the area where he shined for me. So this is the area where I was really hoping to pull Neekmo and really throw him into, and that is Hydra. This is my highest damage I've ever dealt, okay? So we have two keys here. Unfortunately, it wasn't 123 million damage on this one key, but this match took 60 minutes, 90 million, okay? I think that's pretty impressive. I think that's pretty solid. Let me hide my webcam so you guys can actually see this a little bit better. So we have Neekmo doing 10 million damage. We have Seeker doing 1.9 million, which is very nice. Seeker actually was amazing in this Clan Boss run, to be honest. Seeker brought a Provoke on the DK, which was super consistent, a ton of turn meter boost. Guys, I'm going to leave a clip at the end of this video with that Hydra run. It's going to be like midway into the Hydra run because I didn't think about recording it at the beginning. So it's going to be, like I said, about midway through. But Seeker was so crucial for this run. He was huge. But Neekmo plus Seeker plus Siphi's turn meter boosting was incredible. I don't think Siphi's 100% needed. Definitely some possibly better options. Duchess could have been better. A lot of champions could have been better than her. But Seeker, Neekmo, all these champions were so good. And this was definitely my best Hydra team. I think before this, my best team was like 65, 70 million somewhere. So pretty solid boost. I would have gotten to 100 million, I think, had my, I think, Geomancer not got 8 right at the end. So a little bit unfortunate. But either way, the War Master alone from Neekmo gave him 10 million damage. So that's incredible because he's doing the AoE decrease attack. Amazing for Wrath. Very solid kit in general. But then look at all these champions healing, okay? So Husk, that's all from Leech. Okay, Seeker, all from Leech. Geomancer, I'm sure it's all from Leech. And Ugo, she actually does some healing. And Siphi actually does some healing as well. But Husk, I believe all of that healing was from Leech, which was placed by Neekmo. Ugo can place a Leech, but it's single target, so it's not super consistent. Neekmo also did 1.5 million in heals, which is incredible. So all these champions were benefiting so much from Neekmo that I think if you're worried about Hydra, if you don't have a ton of options for Hydra, he is a very solid champion. My other team that had Molly, Duchess, Lady Kimmy, Ugo, Geomancer, and Husk did 32 million damage, okay? So a significant difference between these two. The biggest difference being Neekmo. Now, this team, I enjoyed the team. I thought it was pretty easy. Honestly, it was majority auto. I did start turning it to manual towards the end just because I was on stream. I was wanting to run it as far as I could. So I was like, hey, let's go ahead and try to push the damage as much as we could. So at the end there, I did turn on some manual, but honestly, a lot of it was auto. I did have to be careful, make sure Seeker kept up the provoke. So it was a slight manualing whenever his turn came up. But other than that, it was a pretty auto-friendly team. And we're about to down Brutal, which is going to be awesome as well. And then the last area, but not least, Doom Tower. So Doom Tower is going to be the exact same as all the other dungeons. If you need wave control, it depends on completely what you're using for these waves. So if you're using something like this, he's going to be irrelevant for you for Doom Tower majority of the time. Maybe for some boss fights. For some boss fights, you could definitely make him fit. Depends on your team, of course, right? But in general, if you're struggling going through Doom Tower waves, okay, you're using a typical team where crowd control is going to be super important, which to be honest, in Doom Tower, if you're not using a speed clear team, the best type of team to use is a team that relies heavily on crowd control, CC stuff, so like freezes, stuns, provokes, anything like that is going to help you out so much. Bringing a champion like this in is going to be incredible. However, if you're relying on poisons to tick and you're bringing a decreased speed champion, the poisons are going to tick very slowly. So keep that in mind. But if you bring a poison explosion champion like Venom Mage, like Dark Kale, anybody like that's going to be a little bit better. Or if you just bring a hard-hitting champion, like maybe you have Leoris, maybe Ragash, whoever it is, doesn't really matter. We'll just throw this thing, give you guys an example. But the increased speed aura is going to be great, but his decreased speed, increased turn meter is just really going to help you in general actually get through these waves, because you're going to be taking so many more turns than the enemies now. I mean, decreased speed is probably one of the best debuffs in the game. Increased speed is probably one of the best buffs in the game. It just allows things to be so much smoother, so much easier. Plus, he's bringing in an A1 decrease attack, which just helps out incredibly on your champions actually surviving. So Neekmo is a champion, I think, depending on your account, could possibly slot into majority of the areas in the game. Some areas he makes more sense than others. Some areas he may not make sense at all. He's not going to be in-game arena. He's not going to be top-tier Doom Tower. He's not going to be a champion used throughout the entire Doom Tower. Eventually, for like me personally, I think I'm going to be using him in Faction Wars and Hydra Clan Boss. So those are the two areas where I'm mostly focused on. Like, I want to speed up my Lizardmen Faction Wars, and I want to make my Hydra Clan Boss do better. He works perfectly in Hydra Clan Boss, and he works perfectly in Faction Wars. I just assume. I don't have a ton of great Lizardmen, so that's where I'm going to be using Neekmo at. And if even Hydra, that's a huge boost, because Hydra, it's so tricky in the sense that you need a lot of champions filling a lot of different roles. Increased speed, decreased speed are great debuffs, decreased attack, very valuable debuffs to have on Hydra. So definitely a champion who's very solid, even if you're going for Hydra alone. But in general, a very solid champion. So guys, if you pulled Neekmo, congratulations. I think it's definitely a champion you're going to enjoy using. I think it's a great champion for Plarium to have to added for the 15 Sacred Shards guaranteed. Great situation. And I got to say, I'm a little bit biased because during that 15 Sacred Shards guaranteed, I did pull a pretty awesome champion. So I did pull this dude right here, Rhodos the Lost Grim. Where you at, dude? There we go. There we are. He's not built yet. I'm actually trying to be a good clan member and save my books for CVC, which, man, is killing me. My most wanted champion. Imagine pulling your most wanted champion and then wait, Shadow Legends kicks in and says, well, we got personal reward CVC coming up in a few days. Are you really going to do that to your clan and not book during CVC? You really going to be so impatient to book outside CVC? So I got to do it. I got to wait. I got to try to wait. We got a few days. We have enough books. Just, he's going to take a lot, though. He's going to take a lot. But with that said, guys, hope you all enjoyed the video. Let me know if you pull for Neekmo. Let me know how it goes for you. Congrats if you got him. If you pulled anything else during this event, hopefully you got something good. We have Cardiel Sishia today. We have Yumiko and Corrado tomorrow. So good luck to all of you all. Thank you all very much for watching this video. Leave a like down below if you enjoyed it, and I will catch you all in the next one.